Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope that everyone is having an awesome day. This is Michelle, better known as Anna Michelle, coming on to give you your word for today. Again, I am preparing you guys to receive my newest book that is coming out, Healthy Character, The Healthy Leader. And I want to help people that are in leadership and people just not just those that have a position of leadership, but those who are just called to be leaders, which is everyone. So that's my goal, to impact everyone in the area of leadership, and I'm so excited to do it. I'm very knowledgeable in the area of character as well as leadership. It's something that I've lived, so I have much experience. Not just in church, but on my job. It's something I've lived throughout friendships. When you are in a relationship with anybody, especially the friend zone, your friends will always identify who the leader is in that group. And I remember there was a time where I was on my way. I had went to a leadership conference, and during that particular conference, I ended up getting into a disagreement with a young lady, and she said something to me that kind of hurt my feelings because I didn't know where she was going with it. I hadn't done anything. I asked her one simple question. It was very calm, and I wasn't all irate or anything like that, so I just didn't understand why she had went off like that. And so one of the young ladies that was there, she told me, she said, Michelle, everyone in here looks at you as a leader. She said it's like that. It's almost like, she said, from her being on the outside looking in and her not being around us as much, here it is. She decided to ride with us and room with us during the conference that we were going to. And she said, I don't know why, but somehow, but not, she didn't know why, but she didn't know, what will make a group of leaders who actually had leadership positions in the church. So I didn't have a leadership position in the church, but those that surrounded me were those who walked in a position of leadership. They had actually snatched me up out of the group and made me some form of leader. And she was like, I don't know why. So everything, all the responsibility, everything concerning this trip is falling on you. She said, people are acting the way that they're acting towards you because they perceive you to be the leader. And it wasn't something that I asked for. It's just something that came along with the package. You know what I'm saying? It's just who God created me to be. I believe that when they talk about the spirit of leadership being upon people, I really believe that every person is born to lead, but there is a spirit of leadership placed upon people where they are identified as a leader throughout their entire life. Even when before I had gotten saved, when I was in the streets, and I was a young girl, people had pulled me up out of the crowd and made me a leader. It was like, we not doing nothing until we see what Michelle gonna do. And they used to call me Mickey, so it used to always be, what Mickey gonna do? Let's see what Mickey gonna do, So I was always a leader. Always a leader. Didn't really know the kind of leader that I was. Didn't really tap into the kind of leader that I was until I developed my relationship with God. But I'm happy to say that I did, because now I'm in a position where I can help. I can help someone else. I can help someone else. I can use everything, all the experiences and everything that I had gone through on my job and with my friends coming up and even in ministry to help people. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to come on here to give you guys your word. Give you guys your word. We've been talking about flaws all this week, every day this week. Well, not every day this week, guys. I'm actually going to give you guys a word Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. And send you guys a new I don't know what I'm going to talk about on next week. But I'm not going to worry about it on next week, okay? Listen to me just talking to y'all like I'm actually talking to a crowd. It's just so hilarious sometimes being on here. Okay, so today your word is peer pressure. Peer pressure. I'm going to say that again. Peer pressure. Now, peer pressure is a very, very negative mentality. Okay? And as you guys see the captain, I say peer pressure among leadership. I don't think that many of us knew that could have been possible. I don't think we knew that could have actually been possible. Yes, peer pressure among leadership is definitely possible, whether you're working in an organization, whether you're working in a church, regardless of whether you are in a group of your friends. Peer pressure among leadership is very, very prevalent, more than we know. When we think about peer pressure, a lot of times we think about it in from a perspective of child school ages, and this is where their lack of maturity comes in at. That immaturity comes in at. Part of having good character is actually understanding. Part of having good character is actually understanding growing up. Is actually growing up, understanding who you are, and growing past some of the things that you may have done when you was actually a child. And so peer pressure is something that's found among children. Okay? It's something found in as you're going through grammar school, as you're going through high school. You're always going to encounter people that's going to try to influence you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do. Because when you are living with your parents and even the school systems, there's standards, there's ethics, there's morals, there's principles that you must adapt to. But sometimes you find yourself in the midst of your peers, and you find that your peers are the ones trying to influence you to do something that you don't believe you should do, or to get you to do something that you don't necessarily want to do. So now, when we talk about peer pressure, I'm going to give you my own personal definition for peer pressure, okay? As it relates to leadership, especially in the kingdom of God. Peer pressure. Ungodly influence inspired to persuade someone to go along with something they don't want to do or believe in, making them a co-conspirator to someone else's demise. That is what I like to say peer pressure is. Okay? It's being able to use your ungodly influence on the people that are in your circle to persuade them to go along with something they don't necessarily want to do, or something they don't necessarily believe in, or something they don't have all the facts in. This is a huge prevalent behavior that we see happening in leadership, and it is actually a behavior that identifies the maturity level of a leader. I want you all to understand that it identifies the maturity level of a leader. When you see a leader going from person to person, calling this person, calling that person, texting this person, texting that person, doing all kind of stuff to try to influence them, to get them to see things their way, what are they doing? They're trying to persuade them to go against what they believe, or what they don't want to do, or what they don't even have information concerning. So peer pressure is something that is very prevalent in our churches and in our organizations today among leadership. I just wanted to end with that. I just came to give you your word, guys. I want you guys to meditate on that word. Don't think that word peer pressure is just a word found among school age children. It's something that's found among them, but it's also a word that will identify the maturity or the mature level of a leader, the maturity of a leader. Okay. So when you find yourself in the circle where you have your peers around you trying to influence you to think one way, and it's an ungodly and unrighteous way, then you want to check your circle, because they're not operating in a particular maturity that they need to be operating in, especially if they're going to follow you. If you know you're a person of character and you know you're a person of good standard, then you don't want to be around people in your circle that's going to influence you to do something that goes against your moral beliefs. You don't want that. Okay. And so peer pressure, that is your word for today. I hope you guys meditate on that word, do your research on that word, and just see if it's found in you. See if you're that person. Do a self-assessment. I'm going to say that every time I come on. Do a self-assessment of yourself to make sure you are not the person that's operating in that spirit, the spirit of peer pressure. It is a mentality. It is an attitude that a person adapts throughout the year. It goes along with bullying. Okay, so you guys be blessed. I hope you guys enjoy my teachings every time I come on. Again, I'll let you guys know when the book comes out so that you guys can run over and purchase it. You guys continue to have an awesome day. Okay, bye.